Hotfix 27.3.6 and 27.3.7 are live on PC, but before we cover the patch notes, Titania Prime Access is live on all platforms. As with each new Prime Access, you can purchase the new items outright on the Prime Access page at the Warframe website, or farm them in-game. The relics for these new Prime items are up on your screen, and those items include Titania Prime, Corinth Prime, and the Pangolin Prime. These relics are available in the usual locations, such as the Void, but they can also be found in Railjack missions, and the Ground Assault or Murex raid missions from Operation Scarlet Spear. In regards to the Corinth Prime, DE have made it have a 20-shot magazine, with a reload applying to the whole magazine rather than a shell at a time. The reload time for the Corinth is 3 seconds. As for the accessories for this Prime Access, it includes a universal Archwing skin shown on the right, and 2 Cyan Danas, one with a tail and one without. The latter is optimized to avoid clipping with Titania Prime's wings and tail. It was added in the later hotfix because they didn't have it ready yet. Next up, the relics for Limbo Prime, the Piranha Prime, and Distrezor Prime have been removed from the drop tables in-game as they have entered the Prime Vault. This means you won't be able to farm for their relics, but if you already have their relics or the items themselves, you keep them. In relation to the vaulting of Limbo Prime Access, the Steel Meridian Sacrifice has been changed from the Distrezor Prime handle to the Redeemer Prime blade. Any Riven disposition changes, including the long-awaited melee disposition changes, has been delayed until consoles receive Operation Scarlet Spear, so if you are looking for that information, you'll have to wait. Now we go to the patch notes for PC, once again 27.3.6 and 27.3.7. For general changes, DE have removed the Umbra Forma blueprint from the rare crate drops due to a security issue. They also said Nightwave Series 3 Glassmaker will bring back Umbra Forma as a reward, and they are looking at more secure places to include it back into the drop table. The second and last general change was the added clarification for the Split Flight mod to state that no area of effect bows can have this mod equipped. There were also 2 changes that were classified as fixes by DE, those being fixed Venari's healing aura affecting the uplink, with DE stating the uplink is intended not to be affected by abilities, and the second quote-unquote fix was Venari's healing aura affecting defense targets. The community has already pointed out that one of the tips for Khora was that of, quote, Venari's heal posture can heal defense objectives when marked. So, there's that. Let's move on. For Scarlet Spear changes and fixes, they follow. DE added a waiting for satellite UI line when players are in the Murex raid with their oplinks down, but have neglected to place the satellite first. They also shared that a few cases of not receiving codes in the mission were a result of user error that this should fix. They also increased the sentient AI count per player when defending oplinks in the Murex raid mission, with them stating, previously the number of spawns didn't match up with how many players were in the squad, and oftentimes there was nothing to defend against. This should feel more to scale with a number of squad mates present. The flotilla instance number now displays alongside the flotilla progress at the center hologram of the flotilla. Murex raid score is now shown in the mission UI just as it is with the ground assault mission. Players that have not completed the activation of their Railjack via the Reliquary Key mission will no longer be allowed to host the Murex raid mission due to conflicting objectives occurring when playing. Now for the Scarlet Spear fixes. A potential fix was made for players sometimes not uploading their scores, resulting in no placement on the flotilla leaderboards and no reward at the end of a Murex wave. They've stated they've also integrated some internal tracking to better determine the cause of the issue if it continues to happen. They also fixed solo player squad mission status not being wiped when exiting missions to return to the flotilla, which resulted in seeing your name in one of the active squads for a ground and Murex mission. They fixed a case of players ending up in the Scarlet Spear Flotilla Instance 0 even though they were invited to a different flotilla. A case of being in the incorrect flotilla when inviting a player post-ground or Murex raid mission, and they've stated this could result in numerous issues such as not being connected to the flotilla chat and an inability to form a squad with a player from the same flotilla, so there's a little warning. They also fixed the UI incorrectly stating that you are sending kill codes when an uplink is destroyed in a Murex raid, and it would now properly state that you're awaiting kill codes. A potential fix was made for no objective when starting a Murex raid, also for receiving a mission failed screen during a Murex raid if the flotilla reached 100 out of 100. They also fixed Little Duck's Mirax Wave ending inbox, not indicating the difference between a successful versus failed Mirax drive-off. And they have stated that in some cases this was causing confusion as to why victory payout was not being received, when in reality the flotilla they participated in did not successfully meet the 100 out of 100 goal. They also acknowledged that there are still cases where the victory payout does not work, but this should mitigate the confusion that was occurring. They also fixed flotilla instances not appearing in the flotilla UI after returning from a ground assault or Mirax raid mission, a game hitch every time you received a transmission during a ground assault or Mirax raid mission, and they also stated we're still chasing some hitching transmissions, but this fix should solve a good amount of them. They also fixed sometimes spot-loading Railjack cosmetics when loading into a Mirax raid, op links placed by a squad mate who has disconnected, lingering perpetually, objective markers disappearing for squad mates who haven't caught up to the player who sped their way to the Condrix in the ground assault mission, which led to some players getting lost on their way to the Condrix. They also fixed Mag's crush ability, forcing the Condrix to close. A potential fix was made for a back-to-back host migration occurring due to the second host attempting to catch up on rewards during the migration, and thus migrating themselves. A potential fix was made for a host migration resulting in the next Condrix not spawning in the ground assault mission. They fixed the Basmu's alt fire mode not healing on reload. They fixed the Mirax 2 and Mirax 3 emblems using Condrix 2 and Condrix 3 emblems when viewed in the inventory. They fixed a crash that could occur if you were standing on a Railjack exit while traveling between locations. They fixed a script error that could occur when warping in your Railjack that occurred when your Railjack had a hull breach when placing your uplink in the ground mission, and they fixed numerous script errors when exiting an enemy cruise ship. They also made another fix towards Scarlet Spear scores not getting uploaded, thus resulting in no score on the flotilla leaderboards and no victory payout at the end of the Mirax. And they fixed the error list remaining invulnerable with its canisters destroyed if disarmed by the Naramon disarming blast. Lastly, for the overall game fixes, they fixed Gara's mass vitrify walls blocking coil drives, weapons losing function until you land if the Shadow is equipped while in Arcwing and you attempt to switch weapons, melee magnetism not functioning with Titania's Diawada in Razorwing, a rare crash when a zone gets destroyed in Sanctuary Onslaught and other locations in the same frame as a connectivity update. They fixed the preparation mod not functioning if you have no extra mod capacity. They fixed losing melee functionality after deploying then swapping the dual Decorions. Your Warframe spinning endlessly if exiting the arsenal when previewing a weapon with a controller. The Drimper Moa bracket appearing incorrectly when viewed in Legs offerings. They fixed the partner mastery rank locked message when trading, not stating the mastery rank. They fixed the weapon damage total in the arsenal not appearing for weapons with only one damage type but can be affected by multi-shot. They fixed a minor issue in the arsenal upgrade screen where the stat scroll bar would be out of bounds if you had scrolled to the bottom of a long list of stats and then removed mods to remove a large amount of those stats. They fixed a material mishitch between Nova's Atomica helmet and body. The Prisma Latron armor being misaligned when equipped on Nova's Atomica skin. They fixed a script error if you are upgrading a weapon from the arsenal then accepting a trade invite and try to select mods to trade. When a host migration occurred in a survival mission, that could occur when playing a defection mission, that could occur when playing an infested salvage mission on Eris, when attempting to play the Shorzin, and when using fireworks. They fixed an unreleased Railjack node being selectable in the star chart, resulting in endless loading. They fixed Warframe ability preview videos not continuing if you hover on them after hovering on the passive ability, areas disappearing when viewed from long distances in the Hydron defense tileset. They fixed certain UI elements such as the boss health bar, markers, and enemy statuses, sometimes tinting red for the rest of the mission, Lua and the Kuva Fortress sometimes disappearing when zooming far out in the star chart. And they fixed a script error that could occur in the Lua Disruption missions during moonquakes, that could occur in the Lua Disruption missions if there was a host migration during a moonquake, when opening the Nightwave screen, and when becoming down while switching from your weapons to the mining cutter. So that was Titania Prime Access's hotfixes. Thanks for watching, see you guys next time.